Welcome to Mexico City. The Estadio Azteca sits 2,240 meters above sea level. This shows the partial pressure of oxygen. At this altitude, lower atmospheric pressure means far fewer oxygen molecules per breath. During high-intensity runs, this drop starves muscle tissue. The body simply cannot replenish oxygen fast enough to clear fatigue. Sports science dictates that a human body needs several weeks to acclimatize to these conditions. The England squad arrived with a 4-day window. The environment added another layer of complexity. A massive pre-match thunderstorm delayed kickoff by an hour, disrupting the players' carefully timed warm-up and nutritional routines. They stepped onto a pitch where Mexico had gone 10 World Cup games unbeaten. And for England, the Azteca still carried the heavy ghosts of 1986. In this specific environment, attempting to execute England's standard high-intensity press is a biological death sentence. To survive the night, manager Thomas Tuchel had to overhaul his squad's tactical identity. Tuchel's first major move was abandoning England's signature aggressive press, pulling the squad into a compact, centralized mid-block. Instead of chasing the ball, the team slid laterally. They conceded possession in wide areas, focusing entirely on protecting vulnerable spaces behind the defensive line. By sitting deep and refusing to break ranks, England denied Mexico's creative players the vertical space they needed, forcing them into a slow, repetitive lateral passing game. This calculated passivity achieved a vital physical goal. It shifted the cardiovascular burden of maintaining the match's tempo directly onto Mexico's possession game. But sitting deep creates an obvious offensive problem. How do you advance the ball and actually score without draining your midfield's limited oxygen reserves? Here we see the direct bypass solution. Goalkeeper Jordan Pickford utilized long aerial distribution to skip the central pitch entirely, bypassing Mexico's midfield press. Up front, Harry Kane operated as the target, dropping deep into the midfield. This movement dragged Mexico's center-backs up the pitch, fracturing their defensive line. That left a vacuum of space for Jude Bellingham. He timed his runs to surgically exploit those newly vacated gaps, striking quickly in transition. The execution was clinical. England scored 2 goals in a devastating 98-second window. By removing the midfield build-up from their playbook, vertical transition play became a weapon of extreme energy conservation. Then, in the 54th minute, the structure fractured. Jarell Quansah received a red card, reducing England to 10 men. A rapid exchange of penalty kicks soon narrowed their lead to 3-2. Tuchel's final intervention abandoned any pretense of midfield control. He introduced Dan Burn and Jed Spence, constructing a deep 5-3-1 formation, anchored inside the penalty area. This static physical wall dug in to absorb and repel Mexico's desperate barrage of 34 crosses. There were no traditional footballing aesthetics left in this final phase. It was a pure, systemic exercise in running down the stadium clock, desperate to survive the brutally thin environment. At the final whistle, players collapsed to the turf, lungs heaving. They had successfully shattered Mexico's historic Azteca fortress. In previous World Cup tournaments, like 1998 and 2006, a red card triggered systemic panic and inevitable elimination for the English squad. Here, the response was measured. Success required tactical pragmatism to win out over footballing ego. Heading into their quarterfinal against Norway, England has proven they possess a complete, adaptable squad. Sacrificing their standard identity to solve environmental traps makes them an unpredictably complete squad.